Radiant team ban.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Amateur Weekend Cup. This is game 2 of the best of 3 series between Zykon Esports and White Lotus Slayers. I'm Zalf and I'm joined by Yoshi. How are you, Yoshi?
I am doing quite fantastic. Yourself?
Yes, I'm doing quite well. Quite excited to get into this game. Might as well hop right into these drafts. We do see the Batrider out and the Outlaw Devourer. This time we see the ban of Nature's Prophet. White Lotus Slayers do not want Zykon picking up that Nature's Prophet like they did the last game. And of course there's the IO ban as well.
And there we go. We see that Darkseid being picked up. He's one of the few heroes that made it through this pool, or I shouldn't say one of the few heroes that made it through the ban phase, but one of the few heroes that usually get banned out that made it through. And White Lotus says they took out their Nature's Prophet, they versed him in game 1, and he caused havoc. Just the ability to push down those towers is what, in the end, cost White Lotus Slayers the game. They just couldn't catch back up. They had no map positioning, and Zykon Esports, they took advantage and just walked all over White Lotus Slayers. So they take out their Nature's Prophet. They pick up a Darkseid who's got fantastic team fight potential, and it looks like White Lotus Slayers, they may want to go for a team fighting lineup.
Reserve time.
Definitely, and this does leave heroes such as that Lifesteal in the pool. Zykon Esports are not actually going for him so far. They instead pick up that Visage and the Clockwork. Now these two heroes are heroes that they have played in the past. Actually, I'm not sure if Zykon have played the Clockwork, but they have played the Visage certainly, and it's one of their big heroes as well. So they're looking to go for that aggression again. I wonder if they'll sort of pick up the same sort of lineup of that Luna and the the Bane, of course, or if White Lotus Slayers will realize the pattern and start banning them out in the next phase, or maybe even pick up one of the heroes themselves.
Especially, there we go, we see that lifesteal, so it is picked up as you called it, and I wouldn't be too surprised if White Lotus Slayers, they do ban out the Bane. There we go, there's the Bane, straight off the bat, so they won't be able to pick up that Bane. Their favorite Visage Bane combination. We may still pick up that Luna. They'll take out that Quap as they want to try and maybe pick up a Queen of Pain, or another hero that they love to run in mid would be, what was their last hero they ran in mid? I've already forgotten. Oh, terrible man.
Spirit.
Was it? No, that wasn't Zykon. That was White Lotus Slayers. I'm talking about Zykon.
Oh, sorry. They rolled the Conquer, yeah.
Conquer. So they get rid of that. I know, I've just completely lost it.
It's so good. But yeah, we actually saw the Puck get banned out last game as well. And I think it was Zykon who banned it out, and then the White Lotus Slayers banned out the Queen of Pain, as they did pick up that Storm Spirit, so they don't want another strong mid hero. However, the thing that works really well with Zykon is that their supports roam when it's appropriate to help the mid lane, despite, so even if they've got something like a Kunkka against a Storm Spirit, and Kunkka, he doesn't outlane a Storm Spirit all that well. So by roaming their supports, they certainly create that opportunity and lock out the other lanes as well, ensuring that they always have the advantage around the map. And we do see the Alchemist get banned out. Alchemist is a very strong carry here. I'm surprised the Luna wasn't banned out, considering Zykon have played the Luna fantastically throughout this tournament. We also see that Shadow Demon ban out, which is another very strong hero, and this is quite interesting to see, as White Lotus Slayers, they still have all their supports to pick up and the mid hero, whereas Zykon, they still have the carry and the mid and another support.
I'm presuming White Lotus Slayers, they may want to pick up a Nyx Assassin. They've got a fantastic Nyx Assassin on their side. One of the games I did watch throughout their group stages, their Nyx Assassin play was quite well, landing 3-4 hero impales when they most needed it. And combo that with the Lifesteal, you've got your initiation, you have that roaming ability to try and hit Zykon Esports before they hit you with, as you said, their supports, which do a phenomenal job roaming around the map, finding openings and creating space for their heroes in that mid and their safe lane carry. So Zykon Esports, they're trying to think of who they want to pick up now. I wouldn't be too surprised if they work towards their next support hero. Save their carries to these last two picks. Try not to reveal their hand too early so White Lotus Slayers can't go down the road. And how they will pick up a Nyx Assassin of their own.
And this is a strong choice. It works well with the Visage if they decide to, they could do something very unusual and roll the Nyx assassin in mid lane if they really want to. It will mean that Nyx, as long as he doesn't get killed off, will get that level 6 very quickly. But they could roll out, of course, I guess the more common these days is the support Nyx assassin. And you know, with that stun, he does do a decent amount of damage, and your Visage combo, depending on which carry they decide to pick up as well, they could certainly create some more of those very early first bloods like they have been doing in most of these games.
In White Lotus Slayers, I'm going to guess they're a little bit caught off guard. I think they were deciding to pick up that Nyx Assassin themselves, so they're going to be looking at one of their main heroes to be able to combo well with this lifestealer. Usually if you pick up a lifestealer, you want a hero to help get your lifestealer into the action. They will pick up a Rubik, however. Rubik, always a fantastic pickup. Having that ability to steal spells can change the way your team acts. If you pick up a stun, you can win the fight for your team, you can turn that stun around, you have your lift, and you've just got a lot of control. If you pick up any other abilities, such as great positioning or initiation spells such as Clockwork, you'd think it's a little bit weird having a hookshot on Rubik, but it can work phenomenal. You hookshot in, you can lift, throw them back, and then they're going to be picked off. So I always like this Rubik pickoff. He just has a lot of control and a lot of versatility to him.
Oh, and anti-mage. So Zykon Esports pick up another very strong carry there. Anti-mage is a hero that, a bit like Luna, still does need a little bit more farm, although Luna does have the stronger early game aggression with the help of her Lucent Beam. But this anti-mage, I think, is very strong as well. The Dragon Knight, nice choice there from White Lotus Slayers. A good hero to his stun is very long, and particularly when he hits that level 6, it does become ranged, and he can also help push towers down very quickly. And in the mid lane, Dragon Knight is relatively survivable. He does have the issue of mana and whatnot, but once you pick up something like a Soul Ring, you can really start spamming that Breathe Fire and take back a little bit of that control in the mid lane. So if Zykon decide to pick up a ranged mid hero, then this Dragon Knight might be a little bit weak, but we'll see exactly how they roll it. But this is a fantastic lineup from both sides. You know, the Rubik pickup is a nice choice considering the way that Zykon are playing at the moment. You know, there's some very good abilities to steal. Actually, if Rubik steals Vendetta, is it a ranged Vendetta or is it still melee?
It's definitely a ranged Vendetta, and it's scary.
That'd be worrying, especially since you can pull out with a lift. But yeah, I feel this is a very strong lineup from both sides, and you know, the Dragon Knight gives White Lotus Slayers a little bit of maneuverability as well. You know, once the Dragon Knight hits level 6, 7, he can start roaming around. He has that very nice stun of his and deals a ton of damage.
One of the things I love about this Dragon Knight pickup, however, is he's naturally good against anti-mage. Your Dragon Blood, your passive of your armor, as it goes up, you have a naturally high armor yourself on Dragon Knight, and he's just going to have lots of armor to go against anti-mage. Anti-mage won't be able to just burst that Dragon Knight down, and Dragon Knight also isn't mana reliant. I mean, sure, you need your mana pop off your stun, your Dual Breath, and your Dragon Form, but you can still one-on-one an anti-mage quite efficiently. Even anti-mage's mana void will not do as much damage on you as it would on other carries. So I really like this Dragon Knight, because later in the game, if these two heroes meet one-on-one, I feel as if Dragon Knight can come out on top and take down the anti-mage.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely, particularly when Dragon Knight hits that level 16, it gets that third level ultimate. He does have the slow and whatnot, which, besides just doing AoE, is just so detrimental to any player. And this is a winner on the pickup. This is interesting, and I'm quite curious to see exactly how they end up playing this, because they currently have a Clockwork who can be playing in mid lane. I think that's maybe what Lotus Slayers are going for here, just because the nice cogs can push it back to Dragon Knight and ensure that his Breathe Fire isn't up just due to the mana burn.
Or we could see that Nyx Assassin getting that early level 6 and Windrunner supporting with that Visage. If we see that, that's going to be a little bit strange, but I'd be more than welcome to watch how that pans out in the lane. White Lotus Slayers, they're going to be looking at picking up their final support. Who do you think would be a compliment to their team at the moment in terms of support?
You know, I think there's still a lot of great supports out there. I feel like maybe picking up something like a Lestrak might work well, as you know, it does the Rubik lift and follow up the split earth is a nice follow up. You need, generally, if you're rolling something like a Lestrak, you need something to either slow or just be a reliable lockdown. So maybe Lestrak, and it'll certainly help push down towers as well. Instead, they're going to pick up an Enchantress, which is a nice choice as well. Enchantress is a hero which isn't as strong as I'd say Chen in the early game, but certainly excels more in the later parts of the game, just due to the fact of the amount of damage that she puts out with her impetus, and Enchant also helps slow down heroes to ensure you get those kills.
So now the heroes are being selected. We get into the game, and on the side of Reddit this time will be White Lotus Slayers, the captain playing on the dark side will be AWC. So he should be ran in that offlane. You have the carry of Lifesteal. He'll be played by Captain Bang Bang. Enchantress is being played by Dovakin. 0 TBK on that Dragonite. And finally, they're all slippery. Sorry, trying to sneak out of my vision on that Rubik.
Definitely. On the side of Zykon, we do have their captain Dragon playing on the anti-mage. We have Mr. Pooh on the Nyx Assassin and Mr. Polo Jr. on the Visage, which is no surprise that he really loves that Visage. Eduardo is on the Windrunner, and last but not least, we've got the Clockwork in the mid lane being played by Blood Drunk. So this is going to be a Clockwork mid.
And we have a very aggressive Darkseer coming out here, spotted by that Windrunner. They're coming around, they're wrapping around, they've seen him. He's in a lot of trouble, nice body blocking. Surge has been popped, but that body blocking is just phenomenal coming out by Dragon, and they might find an early kill on a Yoshi. They've still got a stun in 6 seconds from that Nyx Assassin. Windrunner, she's got a shackle. Will the shackle land? We see this Grave Chill coming out, a few auto attacks. The Surge is not enough, and First Blood going to the one person in this game you don't want to go to, the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, and the Darkseer here, AC, that when he walked past the neutral camp, he did block it, so that does deter Zykon a little bit, but I'm sure they're going to just put a sentry ward. In fact, Visage does have some sentry, so I expect him to counter ward that very quickly.
But that body blocking coming out by Dragon then, that was just fantastic. Being able to body block 2, maybe 3 seconds of that surge allowed the rest of their team to come in, wrap around, and take out that poor, unfortunate AEC. But that's going to help out this anti-mage, and that's already kickstarted his farm. He's already got 1k, almost 1k net worth to his name, and I think he may just abandon this lane, but he can't. He doesn't have that Iron Shell. He can't just rotate into the jungle and get that lane. However, he's going to come mid. He may soak in a little XP and then go to the jungle. Or he'll just ward and walk away.
Yeah, definitely, and already in the very early stages of the game, you see 0 TBK taking quite a lot of damage up against Blood Drunk here. So currently that's a little bit worrisome, especially since he also doesn't have very much mana. So he's going to struggle to get some of those last hits, and I think Blood Drunk will be able to get some of those extra deniers, slowing down the Dragonite a little bit further.
And this is really nice by Zykon. Putting up this Clockwork against Dragonite, it's just effective to shut down this Dragonite. Every time he gets close, Cogs that only cost 50 mana, pushing him back, destroys his any possibility of getting that farm with that Dragon Breath, and it does a lot of damage, especially if Blood Drunk decides to level up these Cogs, which we'll find out in one more creep kill. If he decides to level it up, or go for that Rocket Flare, to go for that more burst and try and help other lanes around the map.
I'd just like to say, great counter warding from Mr. Polo Jr. He dewarded the ward in mid, which was placed by AAC, but he does miss out on the observer ward here, blocking that camp.
That's a little bit unfortunate. Once again, ward just been out of range of their sentries, and now we have a tornado in mid, just pushing that Clockwork out, opening some space for this Dragonite to get a little bit of farm, and Clockwork will pick up double damage in a very early bottle. He's going to start working towards trying to find kills on this Dragonite, and he could find it quite easy, especially with that double damage and Cogs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Clockwork is a hero that is great at locking down anyone. Oh, and he's actually going right here on 0 TBK. This is very dangerous though, because that Whirlwind is doing that extra amount of damage, but the battery assault bounce is just a little bit unfortunate.
Mm. He's almost going to find a kill there. He might... I'm going to presume he'll bottle crow this, or he'll wait to the 4 minutes rune. Nothing's going to happen. I think he's just going to wait for the 4 minute rune. He doesn't feel threatened at all. Even with this Enchantress around with 2 creeps. Oceanic doesn't currently have his stun leveled. And I think Clockwork may have noticed this, especially with the armor going up quite steadily on that Dragonite.
Yeah, definitely. In the meantime, though, we do see that the anti-mage is doing quite well. He's currently got 18 last hits, and of course, he does have that early first blood to his name, so he'd be quite happy with his progress so far. On the opposite side for White Lotus Slayers, they have Captain Bang Bang on 16 last hits on that lifestyle, which is quite good as well. He'll probably work towards that minus again this game, just to ensure that his farm continues to go up throughout the game.
Oh, that's just unfortunate. Another Sentry Ward placed down just out of range of the sneaky Observer Ward. And it's going to force another Sentry Ward to be popped down by this Visage shortly if he wants to go for it. I think he's a little disheartened at the moment because they haven't been able to find this Sentry Ward. They're presuming that it's in the forest, but there we go. Tango's popped and they still haven't found it. So they might rotate around to the other side to try and find it, or they might just give up on it.
Yeah, and this is actually deterring a lot of the experience here for their next assassin, and also the Visage to some extent as well. He's only sitting at level 1 and would love a Soul Assumption, but unfortunately with those creeps, with the ability to not be able to stack creeps and just pull the camps, it does cause a lot of problems. In the meantime though, AC on the dark side is doing a very good job of just putting these iron shells on these neutral camps. As well, there was a stack there and grabs quite a bit of farm experience for himself.
And it makes the life of these supports a little bit harder, especially trying to get close to these Iron Shield creeps. And even then they miss out on it. That creep gets the final hit on that Centaur, so that's more XP not going in favor of those supports. And as you said, they're getting fairly underleveled. If you want to have a little hero level, Enchantress in their jungle, level 4, Rubik, level 3. These heroes are getting some XP and they're working their way up the ladder. And especially with the Rubik, once he hits level 6, he'll be just that much more effective. Like the Visage and Nyx, they both need to hit that level 6, but the way things are going, they're going to be very underleveled. They're still searching for this one ward. They've decided to give up on it. We might see a smoke gank going mid.
Yeah, and like this ward's about to expire soon anyway. I don't really think they should commit another sentry to this, and I think the choice to just go smoke gank is a very good one, and just help Blood Drunk in this mid lane to help secure it even further. He's doing quite well so far, but this kill will certainly help a lot.
There we go, the cogs are thrown in, then the Mana Burn, Soul Assumption, and final auto attack goes to the creeps of the Dire. So, little bit unfortunate there for Blood Drunk, but it's a kill nevertheless, and a kill they'll happily pick up.
Yeah, definitely. It also gives a little bit of that experience that the Visage and the Nyx Assassin are lacking. And in fact, we have a complete rotation here into the top lane, and because there is no vision, this is very deadly. This Darkseid, he's just used his nice hook shot, and that's going to be an easy death.
Very nice hook shot coming out by Blood Drunk. He waited for it. The surge just ran out. He timed it perfectly. He didn't rush into it. And they find a kill on that Darkseid. Now Zykon is sitting 3 kills ahead, and they're sitting in a very comfortable position. Even with these supports a little bit underleveled, they've got the farm where they need it on that anti-mage. They've got a lot of farm on Blood Drunk, and if he has a lot of farm, he's going to be a hero that you will not be able to kill later on in the game, and it will just cause havoc on your side.
Yeah, definitely, and currently the vision of Zykon is a little bit more lacking. At the very least, that White Lotus Slayers do have a ward up to catch this bottom river rune, whereas Zykon at the moment they don't have any wards up, and I feel like they will certainly start putting them up because we know that they love their vision. They love to be able to spot heroes out when they're by themselves. In fact, they walk past this Darks here, but it looks like nothing will come of it. Both sides will just back off to their farming.
And Anti-Mage's farm is going quite well. He's got 41 hits, 10 denies, and he's also sitting on 101. Against a lifesteal, that's put him 400 gold ahead, and he's going to have his Battle Fury very soon. Lifesteal, however, he did not go for that minus, which I'm a little bit surprised in. If he'd went for this minus, this would have helped kept his farm up with that anti-mage. Because I feel this game's going to go for a while, purely because you have an anti-mage, he's going to be wanting to farm half the game, and then come out of nowhere and then destroy your team. I really feel as if this Lifesteal needed to pick up a minus to keep his farm going and keep up with the anti-mage, especially as the game progresses into the mid stage, and also that attack speed does help quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, Anti-Mage is a hero that once he gets his Battle Fury, can farm up just as well as any other hero, or if not better than most other heroes. Probably Alchemist is the one hero that might be able to beat him. But yeah, he can just blink between camps, blink back into a lane, wipe him within seconds, and then blink into the next one. And it's just insane once he gets his that Battle Fury. And at the moment, it looks like he's going to have a very early Battle Fury because he has an assist to his name. He has the first blood. So currently sitting on 1k at 8.5 minutes, and he already has the Claymore and Ring of Health.
Nasty warding coming out from the two of Zykon. They take the ward up on the top high ground, which was just freshly placed by White Lotus Slayers. And now they're going top. They're going against Doxy. Doxy, how he's going to find a kill on the anti-mage himself. He will get picked off in the meanwhile, but it's worth it. You found a kill on the opposing anti-mage. An anti-mage of all people who can just blink away from a Doxy, and that's worth it. White Lotus Slayers will be happy with that trade.
Yeah, Dragon is playing a little bit too aggressively when his blink was on cooldown. I feel like he, at the very least, he may have wanted to pop out that Mana Void just to get the stun off and deal some of that extra damage. I mean, the Darkseer was quite low on health as well. He might have been able to get the kill before the Darkseer finished him off. But nonetheless, that's very well played there by Darkseer. Does cost him their life, but for an anti-mage, as you said, it's certainly worth it.
And the support on Zykon, they're getting ever so close to the level 6. When that Nyx Assassin hits level 6, he will be roaming. And this Dragonite, I believe, will not be safe. Because I think this Nyx Assassin will just keep hitting this Dragonite. The Heartbeat coming out, doing a lot of damage to the Clockwork just before it dies. So that's going to force Clockwork to go back to base. He will pick up his Magic Wand, however. So just give him a little bit more of that mana regen and sustainability and survivability in these crucial team fights.
Yeah, now we see Darkseers moving through towards the bottom lane. Looks like they might want to try to set up a kill onto Eduardo, who moves through the river. Very dangerous considering he can get a jump from both sides. But we do see a teleport here from Blunt Drunk as well. It looks like they may want to set up a hook shot initiation.
He's waiting on the wings. He's more than in range of that lifesteal. He's just waiting for that lifesteal to come out of position just a little bit. We might see Windrunner try to bait that lifesteal out. Lifesteal's been playing quite aggressive. There we go. He baits it out. Clockwork's here. He's going to jump on in there. He gets lifted, however. Gets thrown back down onto that Windrunner. He's taking a lot of damage. Her Windrunner's now off. The turnaround of Clockwork. Nice shackle onto Captain Bang Bang onto the tree. And Sasori, he's in a lot of trouble. He gets a Clockwork rocket to the face. He will fall. However, Eduardo will give a kill away to Captain Bang Bang. He's turning back around. Blood Drunk needs a few more. Infest doesn't find that kill. Perhaps that Magic Wand, and we'll get on out of there. And in the meanwhile, we see Nyx Assassin. He does rotate middle with his fellow support of Mr. Polo Jr. They do find that Dragonite.
Yeah, and you know, the kill in bottom lane, it was a 1-for-1. I feel like that was probably more in favor of White Lotus Slayers there though, just because, you know, a Windrunner kill for a Rubik.
And we got a little watch down bottom. He might get a hook shot. Hook comes flying through. Cogs are out, and Windrunner's trying to do as much damage as she can, and they will find that kill on that lifestealer. So, Blood Drunk, nice turnaround.
Yeah, a great turnaround there. As I was saying though, you know, the initial kill on Windrunner is certainly going in their favor, because losing a Rubik, you know, is not a hero that loves the gold farm. He's more of an experienced hero, and he's already got his level 6, so he didn't lose too much there. But coming back to kill that lifestealer is definitely a big deal.
That basically just turns around the nice trade that White Lotus Slayers took and just gave it back into Zykon's favor. Especially taking out that lifesteal. It's just going to slow him down a little bit more. He does pick up his armlet now, so I can see him armlet toggling away his to victory quite a few times. It's a little bit hard to do, especially when there's a Clockwork on top of you mini stunning you, because it does make it that armlet toggling just a little bit harder, because it cancels it out every time you try to go it, and if you're mini stunned, well, you can't toggle. But now we might see a trade mid tier 1 tower for a top tier 1 tower, but getting rid of your mid tier 1 tower is a lot more favorable than just losing your top lane, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. It certainly gives you much more map presence and maneuverability. Um, Zykon, they then want to defend this, which, I mean, I think they could have. Currently, you know, the side of White Lotus Slayers, they do have some good team play with the, oh, we'll hold that for, looks like we're going to have an initiation here
Next
in
assassin's looking.
the river.
He's looking, he's not going to find a hero. We see it in open wounds, out into the lifesteal, and then we don't have a blink for 5 seconds. Great hook shot, trying to slow him down. Can you get the final auto attacks? They do get the final auto attacks on the anti-mage. Another Cogs pushing away that Enchantress. Stun will hold that Enchantress stack a little bit longer. But they found the kill on the anti-mage, and poor Darkseid is now trapped up on top of this hill. Just watching the team try and find whatever they can do now.
Yeah, I feel like Dragon may have maybe decided, like he's leveled up the spell shield to level 3 quite early, and I feel like maybe just picking up those earlier levels in Blink may have been more beneficial, because that's the second time that he's died simply because his Blink's been on cooldown, and you know it does hurt you. He does have the Battle Fury now, but even with that, it's still, you know, 2 deaths to your name. It could have been a lot better. You could have had your other items. He could have already been working on his well onto his way onto his Yash, or have his power treads by now if he didn't die twice earlier to Darkseid and again there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's really strange seeing that spell should have been leveled up the most. Especially when most of the skills, they aren't hitting you for a lot of damage. And actually, down the bottom, we see a Clockwork finding a kill onto that AWC's Darkseid. AWC? That's a really awkward name to say, but
I have no idea how to pronounce that.
so they do find a kill into that Darkseid. Darkseid dying for his 4th time in this game. I don't think he'll be picking up the mechanism anytime soon, which is a little bit unfortunate. That could help solidify their team fight and their pushing presence. And at the moment, we had the 2 teams once again trading a top tower for a mid tower.
Yeah, and this time I'd say that's favourable towards Zykon, just because, you know, as we said before, top tier 1 is usually not as favourable as a mid tier 1. The only other thing is though, they've also got this bottom tier 1 pushing as well, so they might actually grab 2 tier 1 towers here if they...
And we've got mass TP into mid lane. Dragonknight's in, he pops that Dragon Form, he gets the stun out. Next assassin, they see a hook shot by Sorry. It's not going to land on anyone, unfortunately. That Dragon Knight was too big, too fat, and just ruined the initiation, or the counter initiation, I should say. So TPs, they do defend that tier 1 tower. Tier 1 tower is in deny range by 9 HP, however they will lose bottom.
Yeah, and you know, this is, I feel like this certainly went into Zykon's favour. White Lotus Slayers didn't pick up any kills by going to defend mid. They still lost the tower, they were able to deny it, but in the meantime, Zykon picked up the bottom tier 1 as well, so tower for tower trade as well as losing a mid. Yes, you denied it, but nonetheless it still does hurt you, particularly when now this Dragon Knight's ultimate is going to be on cooldown for quite a while, so you do have to play a little bit more carefully.
This Clockwork, he wants to find someone. He was tempted to jump in on that Rubik just then, but he decided not to. He saw the entire team of White Lotus Slayers rotate bottom, and now he's just gonna... Actually, he's going to go mid. I thought they would have come bottom to try and defend this tower, but the tier 1's on very low health. So tier 1 will fall, and Anti-Mage will continue farming up top, however.
Yeah, and we'll have a look at this gold graph. We've actually seen it go up and down several times this game. It's now pretty much sitting on dead even, as that tower did set Zykon, well, I should say White Lotus Slayers are back towards, a little bit more towards their favour, but that experience as well is sitting at quite a neutral level. It's been in the favour of White Lotus Slayers throughout most of this game, and a lot of that is just thanks to the fact that the farm for the Nyx Assassin and Visage wasn't so great in the early game, but they have certainly started to turn this around with the number of kills that they've got throughout this game, and this smoke egg might actually be very, very, very big.
Yep, they might find this Rubik. The Daylight Vision should show him out. Clockwork has been spotted, however, but AWC, he's TPing. We get on out of the Shackle, lands onto the tree, and they will blow the Minor Void to make sure he doesn't get on out of there. But in the end, it is worth it. They do find the kill, and Blood Drunk, his rocket just a little bit off target, not being able to find the TPing Dragon Knight.
Yeah, if that was just slightly to the right, he did have his hook shot, and you know, Zykon, I should say, Blood Drunk is not a player to really miss any of those key abilities. As we've seen seen him play on the Kunkka, he loves hitting those boats, perfect times, everything. So I feel like Dragon Knight getting very lucky to escape there.
And it's the difference in Golden XP, as you were just talking about before. It comes down to the fact that White Lotus Slayers, they had a hero that was able to farm up the jungle, and they were able to utilize the map just a little bit more than Zykon. However, Zykon, they've been picking up these kills. They got that first blood, and it's a back and forth game. It's very close at the moment. It can go either way, but one of the biggest things is this lifesteal. He's now working towards, I would guess he's Desolator, if I were to throw it out there. I don't think he'd be going towards a BKB. That's very uncommon on the side of a lifesteal. But until he can get this Desolator, they're going to be playing on the back foot. I can't see them taking these massive team fights. They have the ability to fight in a team fight, but I don't think they'd come out on top purely because they're a little bit underfarmed and they don't have as much levels on the main heroes that they need the most. Such as your Dragon Knight, he's still not level 11 yet, and he needs that level 11 for that additional splash damage on his ultimate.
And you know, this the lifesteal, as you were saying, yeah, he's doing quite well in terms of the farm, sitting at 95 last hits compared to an anti-mage who's got 134. But a lot of that anti-mage farm will definitely be from jungle creeps as well. And you know, he does have that blink. He has enough mana. Has enough money to buy the Yasha now. So there it is. So he should be seeing that on the courier very soon. And the thing is, this I feel anti-mage with a Battle Fury up against a lifesteal without a Midas, I think the anti-mage will come out on top in terms of the farm. We do know that lifesteal is picking up the Desolator now. He does have the double Mithril Hammer, which puts the lifesteal on the field much earlier, I guess. You know, Midas does cost quite a bit, so that is a lot of gold you have to invest into it, but does give a lot of return over time. But it has made this lifesteal be a little bit more relevant in the team fights, as it's ensured that he has his armlet still very quick, and now there's later as well.
So he's very close to picking up that Desolator. In mid lane, we see an initiation onto Bloodjunk. Bloodjunk might try and hook himself out of here. No, he won't. He gets pulled back, shoved into the group. We see a nice flare being picked up by Saru. He won't be able to use it though. Nice familiar stuns by Mr. Polo Jr., holding off the aggression of White Lotus Slayers while a TP comes in. And now both sides are just going to give up an anti-mage. That anti-fun of a hero pushing the top lane. And he may even get a little bit more, may even pick off the tower, as a TP was cancelled actually. Not sure who it was cancelled by.
Has to be very careful. There we go. He does blink out as that Dragon Knight teleporting in, and Dragon Knight stun with a double damage, you know, right underneath the tower. That's deadly.
And now Anti-Mage is chasing down this Enchantress, but the entire side of White Lotus Slayers all converging on the same spot. He's trying to hide in, hookshot in onto Sorry will be picked off. The Cogs pushing away the Lifesteal. Lifesteal can't do anything. He's sitting there. He can't get up there. Wall's been popped. Will we see a vacuum? No, we won't. We'll see Armada Void doing a lot of damage. Nice armlet toggling coming out by Captain Bang Bang to find the kill. And then he armlet toggles once again. He's going to be on out of there. The mech is popped by Zykon, keeping all their heroes freshly topped up. We see a lift going on to Bloodjunk. Bloodjunk's taking a lot of damage because of that lifesteal. Lifesteal stealing a lot. He finds a second kill. Anti-Mage does fall at the same time. So there's 3 heroes dead. And now they're converging onto White Lotus Slayers. And White Lotus Slayers are going towards Eduardo. Eduardo takes a few hits. Double damage. DK is absolutely scary. Hitting for 188 damage. And now they come out on top.
Yeah, I mean that is so well played here by White Lotus Slayers. It's a great turnaround considering they were certainly behind in the kills. I mean, they were still, you know, when you're looking at the graphs, they weren't in a massive deficit or anything. In fact, they were in about 750 gold deficit. Now they've taken about a 1k gold lead. Experience, they were in about 1.5k, and now they're in about 2.5k gold experience lead. So they've certainly helped turn it around. They weren't massively behind, but that team fight is exactly what they needed to maintain presence in this game.
I feel as if that Anti-Mage was once again being a little too aggressive for his own goods. I mean, he just walked in, he was trying to find the kill on the Enchantress. They had no idea or vision where the rest of their team, where the rest of White Lotus Slayers were. And now White Lotus says they capitalize, they get that tier 2 tower. Captain Bang Bang is looking to find a kill, is stuck in with Blood Drunk, and that's not where you want to be. So he will find a kill on Blood Drunk. He will die, that's one hero dead. Shackle comes out, it does not latch somehow into any hero. We see Rubik and the Enchantress, they've both fallen. Mana Void, big Mana Void, but not big enough. They will pick off the anti-mage shortly after. Familiar Stun's coming down, but once again, not enough. Captain Bang Bang is ripping through the side of Zykon, and they come out ahead. 3 for 2, only losing supports and picking up the kill on the anti-mage.
Yeah, and also the Clockwork's actually a big kill as well. I mean, Clockwork is a hero who is pretty resistant to damage just in general, and we saw him pop there in a matter of seconds. Captain Bang Bang is just dealing so much damage with the help of this, both the armor but also that Desolator, which lowers the armor by a ridiculous amount, and it's certainly helping them give the stay in the advantage in this game, and particularly those team fights. You know, the initiation from Zykon was a little bit off there. Clockwork, nice hook and whatnot, but initiating on a a life stealer who can just rage, and then none of your other attacks really do anything, and your team can't really follow up on anything, is a little bit off. I feel like he should be trying to get the jump on the other heroes, some of the support heroes, maybe like the Darkseer or the Rubik or the Enchantress, who you can pick off very quickly, and that way you can swing the fight more in your favor as you have the hero advantage.
Yeah, I agree with you there, because as you said, just jumping on that lifesteal is just not right at the moment. He will 2-3 shot you. If you can jump on one of these other support heroes, so that cogs, then the lifesteal could be technically trapped off from being able to attack anyone and will be caught in the backlines. As you saw in that earlier fight where they took the fight on their the high ground of Radiance, near Radiance Ancients, when Lifesteal was sitting outside that battle, he couldn't do anything because he was stuck on the low ground. Zykon took advantage and they got a very favourable outcome, and Zykon come out on top. But if they try and jump in and allow that Lifesteal to be in the centre of battle, they're not going to go anywhere. Captain Bang Bang will make that Clockwork pay, and then they've just lost one of their key heroes, and the Captain Bang Bang will just pick off through the rest of the supports and the anti-mage, who seems extremely squishy at the moment. No matter where he goes, he's been picked off in a few hits.
Yeah, definitely, and one of the problems is that he doesn't have his Manta yet, and anti-mage, I mean, with a Battle Fury, sure, you do great in farming, you do a decent amount of damage, the Asher helps with that, but you're still only sitting at 815 health, and against a Lifestealer who doesn't care about your mana shield, who is doing like almost 200 damage himself. In fact, he goes on the Eduardo here in the bottom lane. They're just going in on this. They really want more kills.
And the Visage just pops that surge onto the lifesteal. Is one of the scariest things. We see the stun come now into the dagger. Rubik will burst into a matter of minutes. And then we have Captain Bangman. He's trapped in, but that's where he wants to be. But the nice Mana Void picking off those two heroes. And now Anti-Mate's trying to work for that Dragonite. Dragonite's flying around in circles trying to do whatever damage he can. And Enchantress is in the middle of nowhere. Will get picked off. The Shackle will latch. And now Zero's just standing there. Anti-Mate jumps in. Clockwork. This is who you want to be stuck inside with. And Dragonite will fall. That's a team wipe going in favor of Zykon.
Yeah, they only lose the Visage and the Nyx Assassin there, and I feel like White Lotus players were just a little bit over aggressive there. They just jumped very far into the lane, particularly the Lifestealer, who his supports were just a little bit too far behind. They were still at the ramp area, still moving towards the Raxus. But by then it was a little bit too late. They were a little bit too separated. They weren't able to make a lot of those kills happen quick enough, and Zykon started to quickly turn the fight around.
So, how do you feel since these two teams need to play out in the next 10 minutes? I mean, it's a very even game. Who do you think should make the next move? Who should make the first move to get on top and take this game?
It's hard to tell exactly what. So this Nyx Assassin, he's gone for the Dagon build, which means very little in terms of the support. On the support front, it does mean that overall, for example, there's no drum on anyone at the moment. For example, an urn may have been useful in some of those fights, but nonetheless, it does mean that he will be able to pick off these very fragile heroes, such as the Enchantress and maybe even the Rubik. Rubik does have a little bit of magic resistance with, of course, his Null Shield, I believe it's called. null field, but he doesn't actually have it leveled yet, which is going to hurt. But once he does start leveling that, the Dagon doesn't. It starts to lose its effectiveness. But at the same time, if they can get hero pickoffs, just solo hero pickoffs, like for example, this lifestealer is by himself at the moment. If Zykon a little bit more grouped up, they might have been able to find a kill. But I think this lifestealer, and particularly the fact that his teammates are moving in, will be fine. The White Lotus Slayers, I think they should maintain their aggression. They've really started to push into the base a little bit. I mean, their last engagement didn't go so well, but that was just because they got a little bit too separated, a little bit caught out there by pushing a bit too far. And in fact, this seems to be exactly what White Lotus Slayers are doing. They are just going for that tier 3 again. And I feel like if they can maintain this aggression, Zykon are going to struggle, because Zykon's lineup sort of favors.
And we get the force off, and then we see Clockwork. He'll get picked off instantly, so that's a very, very harsh force off to go onto. And that's your key hero already out of the battle. Next Assassin's Vendetta up. He's waiting for a hero to stand out a little place. If he gets the Vendetta, he throws out the stun. It lands at the Captain Bang Bang. Visage's Familiar slow down a little bit, but it's not doing too much. And now they start working on the racks. This rack should fall very fast. Dragonite's trying to find a kill onto Eduardo. Eduardo does have that wind run. Can she use it? She does, but gets vacuumed back into place, but they don't have enough magic damage to take her down. Anti-Mage is taking one-on-one against this Lifestealer, but Lifestealer just arm-witch hoggling, keeping himself away, doing a lot of damage. And now that's 4 heroes dead. Enchantress will pick off that next assassin. These are racks, and this could possibly be game.
Yeah, definitely, and not a single hero falling there from this side of White Lotus Slayers. A great 4-star fin, and as I was saying, I feel like this is exactly what they should have been doing. Just continuing the aggression, trying to force Zykon into a defensive position. As Zykon do have the more, oh, nice hook shot.
Hook shot.
That's a clean kill.
And that wind runner's power shot takes him before he could pop his rage or anything. And the Cog seals Rubik's fate inside. They're turning back around. Can they find a kill on the Dragonite? Dragonite's on 200 HP. Soul Assumption not close enough to throw it out. They're turning towards AWC. AWC's running. The Impale does hit on that Surge, the Dagon, and they will find it. So they find another kill down in bottom lane. We have Clockwork. His hookshot still on cooldown. He's trying to chase on in there. Nice slow coming out by Dovahkiin, but the Clockwork's not going to let up. He's going to chase him around in circles, and Dovahkiin runs back in to the supports of Zykon. So they find a kill on that. So a 4 hero turnaround, but they did get that tier 3 mid tower. Was it worth it?
Well, they got the racks and they got the tier 3. They're certainly going to be happy with that. Lifestealer was also able to pick up a basher in there, so that helps lock down the anti-mage even further. It's going to be a tough year for Zykon to come back, particularly when you're racks down. What I was going to say before though, Zykon, I feel like they're a team that would have loved to roam around the map, smoke gank or just gank in general with the Clockwork and the Nyx Assassin, but because of the pushing that White Lotus Slayers were just doing, the Dragonite is amazing at knocking down towers very quickly, but their initiation in that bottom lane on the tier 3, with the 4-star was amazing. They created a great opportunity and capitalized on it, and that's exactly what I felt like they should have been doing, and they did do it, and now they're heavily in favor to win this game. We've actually had a quick look at the items overall so far. So if we do just have a quick squeeze, we do see that Dragonite does have that BKB. He did pop it before as well when they engaged in the bottom lane. Certainly does help against some of these heroes that they do have. The Roshan pickup here by Anti-Mage is actually quite big, because he pretty much went one-on-one against the Lifestealer and almost came out on top. But with an Aegis, that's actually quite big. But he starts to be careful not to just get picked off very quickly.
And now they're moving towards the racks, and they're going to get it. There's not too much I can do. They're going to try and contest this, and if they lose this racks, this could possibly be it. Nice shack onto 2 heroes. Cogs are in, and now they're all trapped in there. Mechanisms pop. A lot of damage coming out. Dagon pops on that Rubik. Nice vacuum to get him outside the clock. The Aegis has been popped. There goes the Clockwork and Nyx Assassin. Now they turn around. Dragonite's pulling out a lot of damage. So is that Lifesteal. Lifesteal gets a bash. Windrunner falls. Might Void is enough to take out that Enchantress. Nice bash is coming out to Lifesteal. Lifesteal's trying to bash it back. Anti-Mage blinks on out of there. He doesn't want to get chain locked by those bashes. Soul Assumption, not enough to pick off that lifesteal. Anti-Mage comes in, we see a rage up, he does find it. Lifesteal doesn't get off the armlet toggle in time. However, White Lotus says they got the melee racks.
Yeah, and this is huge, and this means that Zykon are going to always be pressured into their base now with a racks and a half, I guess you can say. And you know, they haven't actually taken this top tier 2 tower. It's yeah, it's actually still at full health. But I feel like they might want to just take that very soon, just for that little bit of extra gold. It's going to be hard for Zykon to defend that, particularly when White Lotus Slayers are looking very strong already, pushing into the base, let alone their potential outside it. So yeah, it's looking very grim here for Zykon.
It is looking grim, but once again, you have an Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage can come out of nowhere, but in that last fight, he used an Aegis, and then he almost died a second time. So he's finding it very hard to go up against the Dragon Knight and the Lifestealer, as they're putting all their money in the one bag on the one carry. Whereas White Lotus says they have two carries who are very farmed themselves. You have your Lifesteal, he's 15k, you have the Dragon Knight not doing too shabby himself on 11k. And Anti-Mage against those two heroes, they have a lot of lockdown and they can pull out a lot of damage.
I definitely agree. The one thing that Zykon might have going for them very soon is the Windrunner, who looks to be picking up a Cypher Vice. She's about 530 gold off, and once she has that Cypher Vice, I mean, Rage is excellent on Lifestealer, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't last super long. And once it's down, if you, or even before he pops it off, if you can just Cypher Vice him and take him down very quickly, it'll be a massive pickup. I mean, he does have 1.6k health, which is decent, but against someone like an Anti-Mage and as well as the rest of the lineup, they deal a ton of damage very quickly. You know, Nyx Assassin can move into there as well, just send out a Dagon, because picking up that Lifestealer should be their... I'm not going to say they should engage on the Lifestealer you know, initially in first thing. They shouldn't certainly hookshot into him or anything, because he can pretty much just tank up most of that. But if they get a good engagement where they can Cypher Vice him, lock him down for long enough to deal a ton of damage and just force White Lotus Slayers to be much more careful and to be worried about engaging, will certainly help Zykon.
So you might see Dragon get this tier 3 tower, but there's 5 heroes top. He might get the tier 3 tower, but he might lose their own base. The glyph has been popped. They don't have a glyph of their own. And now we see the Dragon Knight. He's jumping in. He's going to get in there before the Anti-Mage is back. They're going to pick off Eduardo. Eduardo pops like a balloon. And then we see Mr. Polo Jr. They just can't do anything. There's too much damage coming out of the side of Dragon Knight. Next Assassin pops, and Anti-Mage, he's sitting down bottom. He can't come home, and he's just going to try and get a racks themselves. But they're going to lose the tier 3. They're going to lose their final racks, and they're going to get spawned some mega creeps. And I think this is it for Zykon, and White Lotus says look to be taking game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like if Dragon had came back, they may have... and they had a really good initiation, they may have tried to create something, but White Lotus Slayers, they really just jumped on the opportunity. Oh, nice hook shot.
Hook shot cancels 2 TPs, the Anti-Mage is in doing a lot of damage, but it's a little bit too late. He does pop that Rubik, but he gets instantly bashed down because he's got no follow-up or any teammates to help him out. And that's the biggest problem. Because he didn't come back during that last fight, he's there alone with one hero to help him, and then they can just focus fire without too much problems. So game number 2, going to White Lotus Slayers, and we will be going to game number 3.
Definitely, I'm gonna hit that GG button. Well played there by White Lotus Slayers, certainly coming back into this game. You know, they were in a kill deficit early on, and in fact even at the end of the game, Zykon was still ahead, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day if your Ancient's dead.